Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621, and today we are back in my manual cobblestone world, but we're here to talk about basalt, as basalt can now be generated by the interaction of lava with blue ice and soul soil. So you see we have a small example right here. If you have flowing lava, as you can see, this is soul soil and this is blue ice. If it flows on top of the soul soil and there is blue ice next to it, it will generate into a basalt block. Same is also true if the blue ice is over it and it flows. So now you can make a basalt generator, which is what we're here today to do. Before I do that, I do need to do that YouTube thing to tell you that most of you are still not subscribers, so I would appreciate it if you could click that button down below and hit that bell. And if you see a join button next to it, please do consider that as well. Now, instead of going through all of the different iterations like we did with the cobblestone, I'm just going to jump to the finished product with you right here, and this is it. Now, do keep in mind that this is the finished product for the overworld. We will be doing a finished product for the nether as well. Let me also shout out to Rayworks and the whole testing stream that he does. I jumped on there and they had pretty much the same idea that I did. Theirs looks a little bit different, but it is the same basic concept. So I will have a link to the video below to the review of his testing stream, and I would also tell you to drop him a sub as well. Now, let's go over the build first, and then I will explain how to use it properly, and there is a proper use which will double your output. And the building materials you need are in this chest right here. Now, the items on the right side are temporary. You can get away with using fewer of them, but it goes faster if you have just a couple more. So I'll let you take a look at that for one more second, and note that these blocks right here are dispensers, not droppers. If you use a dropper, it will not work. Okay, so let's grab these into the inventory and start building. You're going to want to start with your chest layer. So put 5 chests next to each other, like this. On top of those chests, you're going to want to have some hoppers pointing into them, straight down, like this. And this level is where you're going to want your soul soil to be, but you want to have some hopper mine carts in there first. So let's block this off like that so that we can get some rails in here. And now we're going to put our mine carts with hoppers, 1 per block. So you see we have all 5 of them just like that. Do be sure to break the rail, or the part after this won't work. Don't accidentally break the hopper. And get your soul soil and put it over the top of those, just like that. Now we're going to need a temporary block just like this, because we are going to want to get our pistons out. And let's get our redstone block ready so that we can put pistons facing in. And this does go faster if you have a few more, or just do it one at a time. And now push those blocks down, just like that. And we can destroy all this. And now you have your hopper mine carts trapped in that soul soil. Now we're going to want to build a structure around it. We know the blue ice is going to come on top, and you do need 5 of those to go like that. And then we want to build some places for the lava to flow, so we can come on both sides like this. And then we're going to want to build up to contain that lava, like that, and also like this. And we do want to bring that in. You can leave those corners if you want, but they're not necessary. And again, we need to contain it on this side as well. And the same with regard to those corners and underneath as well, so that you see we have a nice contained area. Now you don't have to use glass. You can use normal stone or smooth stone or any other full block you want like that. I think the glass looks a little nicer so you can see inside. We're going to leave one spot in the middle, just like that, on both sides. Get our dispensers out. And you're going to want to put the dispensers facing down, just like that. And close that back up. And you're going to want to do the same thing on the other side, like this, also facing down. And you can put your buckets of lava into those dispensers. Now, don't forget to add a sign just like this, or the lava won't flow properly. And you can also add a support block for your player, because you're going to want to stand, one block in, just like this. And this sign will protect the lava from thinking that it can flow out to you. It won't actually be able to, because this block will convert to basalt, but you'll have flow issues towards the back end as the liquids try and flow out, just like that. So now we can set up some of our redstone timing, and we can do that by putting a button right like this that will connect to some redstone dust on top. And we can add the rest of our glass all the way around like this. Again, this does not have to be glass. You can use any full block that you want. And the reason that the timing is important is because of the flow speed. And you'll see that during the demonstration as well. So we're going to get our repeaters out, and we know that we need some time. So you're going to go out from both sides like that. Put these both on 4 ticks. Put some dust, again, just like that. And then another one coming out on both sides. And again, you're going to want to put these both on 4 ticks. Now on one side, you can see it doesn't matter. I did on the left side here, but you can switch it if you care. We're going to connect this directly to that dispenser. And on the other side, we need some additional timings. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have 8 redstone tick delay from this point. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then just like this, going to make that 8. And the reason that we want to do 8 is because of how the lava flows. So in the overworld, lava flows at a rate of every 30 game ticks. Now keep in mind a redstone tick is 2 game ticks. And what we want to do is actually have half of the lava flowing at alternate sides. So the lava from this side will flow first, and then this side, which gives us double the speed. So if we've done everything correctly, when we click here, you will see that one side turns on and then the other side turns on, and you have your basalt being generated. Now watch the speed difference. So I'm going to delete those. I'm going to come over here and grab a efficiency 5 diamond pick. Let's make 2 of those. And come back here and watch how fast this is. And keep in mind, this is going to be the slower speed. So let's switch over to survival mode. And it is still pretty fast. But now watch what's going to happen when we turn this off and we start over. So let's turn that lava off. Wait for it to flow. Okay. Now we need to go back into survival mode so that we can continue with our Instamine. And break this. And now this time I'm going to press the button and I'm going to hold this down so that the basalt breaks as soon as it forms. And you'll get more of an appreciation now that it's all 5 of them. And it may be hard to see the difference on YouTube based on how the compression is handling all the particles, but this is roughly double the speed. And I'm going to stop this, give it a couple of seconds so that the lava is all flowing now together, because both sides are now syncing up because there's nowhere to flow. And you'll see that when I do this again, it's half the speed. So the timing is very important. And this is your overworld side. Now, in terms of what you're looking for on the rates, this will generate you just about 24,000 basalt per hour. And that means that just about a little bit under every 4 minutes, you'll actually deplete your pick. And that again would be for an efficiency 5 pick that does not have unbreaking on it. So you can do the math on more than that if you do have unbreaking on your pickaxe, which you should, and that'll hook you up with a healthy amount of basalt. Now, I did say, though, that this was the overworld version. There is a nether version, which is better. Let's go through the nether and take a look at that one. If I can fly. And it looks very similar, but there is really one major difference. And if you see it down there, it's with an additional hopper. And the reason that you have a different version in the nether than in the overworld is because the flow speed of lava is different. In the overworld, as I said, it's every 30 game ticks. In the nether, it's every 5. So that flow speed being 6 times faster means that when we set this up properly, that you have a significant higher output. Now, it is not 6 times faster, because you do have to take into consideration the ticks required for the actual generation of the basalt, as well as for the instamine, which does affect the rates. So this farm right here, you're actually looking at about 66,000 per hour. So you're talking about a little bit less than 3 times the amount in the overworld. So if you need a lot of basalt and you have a safe place in the nether that you can make this, you should make it in the nether. I put my game into peaceful mode right now just to be able to show you how to make this. And the way that you use it is the same in terms of making sure you have that timing. But before I do that, let me show you how to make it and the materials that you need. And those materials are right in here. And you can see that it is pretty much the same. You do need 5 extra hoppers as well as 5 extra chests. You're also going to want some additional chests as your temporary blocks, as well as some additional temporary blocks of smooth stone. And you're going to need more rails if you can have them, just to make it a little bit easier so you can do this all at the same time. So let me show you how to make this one. And the rail part is really what is the more complicated piece of this. There is also one extra trick you'll need to know before you can make this work in the nether, which I'll get to as well right after I make it. This is just a copy of all those materials you saw in that other chest. If you want to take a quick screenshot so you can grab everything you need. Okay, and let's start building it. We're going to start this in a very similar way. Let's go up here for a little bit more space. This time you're going to want to make 5 double chests in a row that are all facing each other, just like this. And you're going to want to have hoppers pointing straight down into both of those. And that's because this machine exceeds your hopper speed limit. If you don't put your hoppers like this, then your machine will back up and it doesn't really jam, but you won't be able to get the most out of it that you otherwise would. Now you're going to want to put your chests like this. Doesn't matter which side, but pick a side. And then you're going to want to play around with these rails, and this part can get a little bit annoying because of the way that rails connect. So you're going to want to give yourself some extra space like this so that you can have your rails going in like this, and these are hopefully going to not connect. Like I said, the rails can be very annoying. We're actually going to have to break this and do it like this. As I said, rails can be very annoying. Bring this all the way out, and then bring this like this. Come on. There we go. Nice and flat rails. Then we can take our, I should probably keep that on the bar. We're going to take our mine carts with hoppers, and we're going to push them into the chest. It's very important they're pushed into the chest because that means that they're a pixel over into the next hopper, which will allow both hoppers to collect from this at the same time. And now we can destroy this and grab this back again to put a chest like this. Same thing here and there. And same process, pushing those all the way over and into those chests. And now we can take all of this down. That's why I said you want to have more rails than I showed, because that'll allow you to do this a little bit faster without all of the guys grabbing at each other. Again, we're going to need to destroy the rails underneath this, and we're going to put our soul soil above these guys. Don't leave. Stay there, buddy. And then we need to make room for our pistons to make sure that those hoppers are, or those hopper minecarts, stay there. So destroy all of these, grab your redstone block, and push that down into there. Now you may not want to get rid of these because now we need to destroy these chests, and we're going to replace them with some stone. Down one like this, and you are going to need to push them into place just like you did with the soul soil. So if I can get the right angle here, I can't. Let's try that this way first. And now we'll put the stone underneath and push those into place, locking our minecart hoppers into place as well. And now the rest of this build is going to look very much similar to what we just did. We know we want our blue ice coming directly above those. And then we need to make our area for the lava to flow, just like this. And coming around back. You don't have to destroy the corners, you can leave them if you want. It's an aesthetic choice. And coming around inside again with our sign. And you can also use your glass or your stone on this side as well. And I'm just going to use glass because I think it looks a little bit nicer so you can see the glowing of the lava. And again, we're going to do that on both sides. Now the timing is going to be a little different because the flow speed is different. So we're still putting the button down there, and we are still grabbing our redstone dust and placing it there with our repeaters coming out both sides. Let's put in the dispensers first. It's going to be a little bit easier so I don't have to destroy everything. So right in the middle there, dispensers facing down, and same thing on this side. And now we can put that stone back. And the glass back. Now both of these repeaters should be on 4 ticks. Then we're going to put our dust on either side, and we're going to come around for 4 ticks again. And on this one we can just connect it directly in, and on this one we're going to want one more repeater, and that can come in. And this repeater can be on 1 tick. It can also be on 2 ticks, but you can leave it on 1. And that's because redstone is double game ticks, so there's 2 game ticks per redstone tick, and you're trying to offset these. And if this one's flowing at the 5, then with this 1 redstone tick, it's flowing at the 2. If you had the 2 redstone ticks, it's flowing at the 4. I like it better on the 1. And now, if you've done everything correctly, when you click this button, you will see the one side flow. Of course, by doing everything correctly, I do mean that you should also put your lava into the dispensers, or else it's just spitting out air. And now when you click it, you will see that one side shoots just faster than the other. It's very quick, but one side is slightly faster than the other. Now, the way that this works is again the same, but you'll notice that this time we're actually going to have a small issue, and I will show you the issue by grabbing again one of these pickaxes, going back into this one, and back into survival mode. And if I go to press this, and then I go to try and mine these quickly, you will notice that I'm not mining them very quickly. And that's because efficiency 5 is not enough to insta-mine in the Nether. Well, the fact that it's in the Nether doesn't matter. Efficiency 5 is not fast enough to mine these blocks. These basalt blocks require a haste to beacon as well, which brings me over to our little surprise down here. Now, you can use beacons in the Nether. They do work. You can see this is the 13B, 20W 13B snapshot. You may need to punch a hole in the bedrock ceiling to make this go and follow this path all the way up so it has a clean line of sight. I will link to a video in the iCard right now, as well as in the description, on how to break bedrock if you need to. And now, when we come back over here, you will see that this is now back to Instamine. Now I'm going to show you the difference between the speeds. This is if you leave the lava on. And you can see it's still pretty fast. But now let's compare that to if you do it properly by turning this off first, and then clicking it, and then holding down. And that's why we gave ourselves those 8 redstone ticks of delay on each side, so that we can click this and then hold it down. And you can see that that is double the speed. And that's how you get about 66,000 basalt per hour with this design. Now, you can see how fast it's eating through this diamond pickaxe. Again, this does not have unbreaking on it. This is just the diamond pickaxe with efficiency 5 on it. And without needing to stand here, that you will go through that pickaxe in just under a minute and a half. So you will go through this pickaxe extremely quickly. Now, you need both of these hoppers in order to make sure that you don't end up with a jam, because you, at 66,000 per hour, we can do some very quick math. Hoppers can do 9,000 items per hour. There are 5 rows. That means that without that second line of hoppers, you could only handle 45,000 per hour. You could not handle the full 66,000 per hour. That said, you can get away with building the 1 hopper version if you're going to be doing this pretty much manually and standing here doing it yourself. There is some room in the minecart hoppers that will store that backlog. Now, if you're going for an absurd amount of basalt and you're going to set something up here, which is going to be mending your pickaxe so you can go full AFK and get absolutely tremendous amounts of this, then the second hopper is a must, or this 66,000 per hour machine will actually only generate 45,000 per hour because the rest of it will be getting stuck and then burned in the lava. As this design, it is a lossless design in my testing. All of your items are picked up by that minecart with hopper. So this will get you all of the basalt you need and is one of the ways to make living in a skyblock nether possible. Instead of having that cobblestone generator, you have a basalt generator and can make all of the building blocks you need for your world. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate a like, maybe even share this with your friends. And for more videos like this, do be sure to subscribe. And again, do be sure to head on over to Ray's channel, which I will link below, to subscribe to him as well. Thanks for stopping by.